Welcome, Shelby County High School football fans, to game night here at the Shelby County Reporter. Sports intern Davis Potter here with Wesley Hallman, sports editor. First, we're going to take a look back at last week's games. Game of the week, Spain Park traveled to Hoover. It didn't turn out so well for the Jaguars. Davis, what were your impressions from that game?
Well, you know, Ben Bergeson's time as the head coach there at Spain Park really hadn't gotten off to the greatest start. You know, he stepped in for Coach David Shores, who was placed on paid administrative leave a couple weeks ago. And, you know, anytime you give up 44 points, you know, it's not a good showing on defense, but they were missing, you know, their senior captain, linebacker Alex Payne, who, you know, suffered a broken hand. You know, they talk about him being out, you know, up to at least maybe 8 weeks, but, you know, they're hoping to get him back and playing with a soft cast on his hand. But, you know, as bad as defense was, the offense just isn't giving them much support. I mean, they've scored 9 points in 2 games. You know, they've got to get something going on offense. I mean, you know, they tried a couple of different things at quarterback, but, you know, they're really going to have to start, you know, show some improvement on that side of the ball.
Davis, I think you're right. They're really hurting without Alex Payne on defense. They had been strong up until the Hoover game, but missing Payne, they really are young already. Without him, they were even younger. On offense, they're still struggling to move the ball. They haven't scored a touchdown this season. They didn't manage any points at all against Hoover. Really going to be a tough season for the Jaguars. They get to kind of start over here, though, as Coach Bergeson said they're going to try to do. You know, they've got the toughest 3 games of the season behind them. Can they pick up a few wins in Region 6 and just at least fight for a playoff spot? That's going to be the question at Spain Park. We'll find out the answers over the next couple of weeks. Davis, the game you were at last week, Briarwood picked up a strong win over Moody, 2-0 now, 1-0 in region play. What are your assessment of the Lions?
Yeah, the Lions train just keeps rolling. I mean, they were impressive again. A 42-6 win over Moody, picked up their first region win. And it all starts with the quarterback again. I mean, Ben Kraft's been impressive. You know, for a team that wasn't sure who their starting quarterback was going to be, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago in that, you know, in the Jamboree, you know, Ben Kraft has stepped up and really solidified himself. You know, as the starter there, you know, just putting up huge offensive numbers. It's the same story with the defense. I think they held Moody to 99 yards total offense. You know, I think half of their offensive possessions resulted in the 3 and out. Moody's I'm talking about. So, you know, just another dominating performance with them. You know, so you know, look for them to just keep improving and look for them to get stronger as the year goes on.
I think you're right, Davis. We all knew coming in that the defense didn't have many question marks. They were going to be really good. Quarterback was the one spot that you didn't know how it was going to turn out, but it looks like with Ben Kraft back at quarterback, they're doing really well on offense this season. So they're going to have a great year. They're going to be really strong contenders for a region championship. We're here at Papa McComb Stadium at Shelby County High School. The Wildcats are getting prepared for a big rivalry game Friday night. They travel to Chelsea to take on the Hornets. Davis, what are your impressions of each team heading into the rivalry game?
Well, I think Shelby County is kind of searching for some more answers. You know, they've gotten off to an 0-2 start. You know, going to look for their first region win here. And I guess for Chelsea, it's kind of been a tale of 2 weeks, but in a good way. You know, after kind of cruising to a win at Brookwood, you know, in the first week, they fell in an early hole last week at Sylacauga. I think they were down 13 or 14 points, battled back, came away with a 1-point victory. You know, so I think, you know, they've kind of been battle tested here only 2 weeks in. I mean, they're starting to get some playmakers, you know, with Jake Gaines, a solid quarterback position. They got some talent there in the backfield. Julius McCall, DJ Washington, you know, they're starting to, I think, form an identity with a strong running game and a leader there at the quarterback position. And it's going to be a challenge for the Wildcats here on Friday night to contain the Hornets.
Davis, you may be right. When you look at these 2 teams, last year it's almost like complete opposites. You had Shelby County with tons of experience and upperclassmen. They kind of lost a lot of players to graduation last year, and Chelsea this year was a young team last year. A lot of guys getting their first look at being starters. They've got the experience coming into this matchup this year. It's probably going to be a difficult game for Shelby County. 0-2, they're going to be looking for their first win in a really tense situation playing against a rival. Chelsea, the kids that are playing on Chelsea's team were here last year. They've been through this rivalry, and they put up a fight last year against Shelby County. This year, I would expect the Hornets to be able to, past 2 years, maybe put some frustration behind them of losses to Shelby County, pick up a big win to go to 3-0, and you look at it in the region they're in, they're really strong contenders for a playoff spot, and they may even fight for a region championship in that region. Check back next week and see how the big game between Shelby County and Chelsea turned out, and join us as we break down the biggest games coming up on Friday night here at Game Night at Shelby County Airport.